Hello everyone, Vinay here. Welcome back to my channel Learn Coding with Vinay and playlist ASP.NET Core MVC. This is part 2 of videos where we are implementing CRUD using web APIs in MVC app. In part 1, we worked on developing APIs. So if you have not watched that part 1, please go ahead and watch it first. Then only this video will make sense. Right. In this video, which is part 2, we will work on MVC project that consumes APIs we developed in part 1. So let's dive further over here. We have already created the MVC app in first part itself, which is products.web, right? And I have run the application also, so we can see the home and privacy menus are working fine, right? And also we have also marked the solution to have multiple debug projects so that APIs and MVC both projects are running parallelly, right? And we'll take note of this port because we will be required it, right? So to mark, how do we need to mark multiple debug project? We'll just have to go to solution. Let me stop this and make sure you also do this. Go to solution, right click, properties, and over here select this multiple startup project, and for both of the project select action as start, right? Let me cancel this as of now. So currently we have started the both project because while consuming API in MVC project, we will need our APIs up and running, right? So let's dive further now. So first thing we want to do is to go to API project and add a menu. So we will go over here inside layout.cshtml. We will add one more menu for products. We already have home and privacy. So we will just copy paste this privacy menu and make one more copy. I'll just say copy and I'll change the controller name to products. We have not created it yet, but we will create it. Products, and the method would be index. This should be products. Method should be index. On the index page, we will be listing all the products. Let's give it a name products. Now let's go ahead and add the product controller. So we'll go to controllers folder of products.web project and make sure we have controller. We are adding it to the right place because we have the same folder in the API project as well. So we'll go over here, we'll say right click, add controller. Add controller. We'll take the empty controller over here. We'll say add. We'll give it a name products. Add. So the controller is created. Let's go ahead and add view also for the same. So I'll say right click on the method index. Add view. We'll take the empty view and let it be index. Let's just add some paragraph tag as of now quickly just to make sure that we are on it. And we have already added menu into the our sad layout over here. Let's take a look at it. Controller name products and action name is index. Okay, so this is good. So this is good. Now let's go ahead and run and check whether our navigation is working well or not. So we have we have run the project. Our API project is running well, and our web project is also running well. Let's go to products, and we see that our navigation is working well. Let's move further over here. Now in the web project, let's go ahead and add one more folder called ViewModels, where we will be storing all our view models required for products. click add folder, give it a name view models. Now, why do we need to create these? So we should not reference product DTO from the API project, right? In real world applications, the MVC app and the web API are often separate systems. Sometimes even they are built using different technologies and maintained by even different teams also, right? The API should be treated as an external service, and MVC application must define its own view models, right? Basically, data transfer object, right? This keeps the architecture for both projects loosely coupled and independently maintainable. So that is the reason we should use separate folder. We should have our separate view models. We should not add reference of this products API project into this web project and use it, right? Because in real world there are good chances that they are separate, right? So we are following that best practice over here. So we have created the folder. Let's go ahead and add few view models over here. Now let's go ahead and add one model, view model, that is required to display products on our product index page, right? So let's give it a name product VM. Product VM. Let's say add, and this will be similar to product DTO. So let's go ahead and have it. So we can open over from DTO and go to product DTO. Just copy paste this and paste it over here. Save it. Okay, so our product VM is ready. Now let's go ahead and add one more folder in our web project, that is called services, because here we'll be calling all the services, and this will also have, we'll follow the usual .NET coding practice. We'll have the interface and we'll have the class implementing that interface, right? So let's go ahead and add interface first. That would be I product category service, right? Add it, and let's have the class also added, which is product category service. I'll just remove I from here and product category service, add it, right? And let this implement the interface. So we are going to implement CRUD for product. We will not implement CRUD for product category. So in product category, as of now, we will keep only one method, that is get all product categories, right? So we will not have the remaining CRUD operations for product category. So let's go ahead and add that method. So what we will be doing, we will add one method that says, okay, so we missed to add the product category VM. So let's add that also. Yeah. So we missed to add actually product category VM also. So we are adding it, and this should have simple two properties, ID and name. Let's see that. So let me go ahead and add this. Okay. So now this is good. Let me close this. So now we have this. Let's correct the namespace. Now this is good. Now let's go ahead and implement this over here, the method over here in the product category service. So what we are supposed to do, first let's, now since we will be using APIs over here, so what we are supposed to do, we need to put down few things in our app setting, right? So let's go ahead and open the app setting of web project. And over here, let's put down the app setting section. Now we'll have to change the port according to what was ours. So in our case it was, I think, 7015. So let me go ahead and change it. So it was 7015, and also this should be HTTPS, or maybe we'll see what it should be. But let's save this app setting and base URL, because we will be needing the base URL of our APIs and REST endpoints that will be adding on time. And so let me close this. So this is in place. Now let's go ahead and implement the method. So let me go over here. Okay. So first thing what we are supposed to do, let's declare we'll be using HTTP client. you know so let's have this, and then let's inject it into the constructor. So let's have this also in place, and let's implement the method. So here we have implemented the method get all async, that is using this base URL, and from that it is using API and product categories, right? Because that's what we will have the endpoint to get all the categories. Right. Now we'll be doing the same thing for product also, and for product category we are not going to implement the CRUD operations. We'll only have the get all product categories, right? But we'll implement the CRUD for product. So let me go ahead and close this, this. Let me close everything over here. So let's go ahead and add I product service and and product class. I product service, let's say add. Go ahead again, right click, add and add class. Product service, add. Let this inherit from this. Sorry, my bad. And let's implement the first index method over here. So let me put down the method, get all products. Basically this is what we will be using to get all products name. Products basically details, not over here. It has to be first in the interface. So let's go ahead and now let's implement it over here. So what we are supposed to do, similar way what we did in for product category, we'll do the same thing. First let's declare the base URL and HTTP client, right? Then let's go ahead and inject them into the constructor, right? And let's implement the get all product method. So let me copy paste. I have ready made the code, right? So what we are doing over here, we are using HTTP client factory, right? And we are calling this endpoint API products. This will ultimately give us the list of product, and we are returning it in return, right? So this is quite simple. Now since we are using HTTP client factory, we'll have to register both this as a in program.cs. So let's go ahead and do that. So what we are supposed to do, we are going to add the HTTP client iProduct service and iProduct category service and product category service over here, right? So this is also good. Let me close this. Oh, this is unsaved. Let me save this. This is also good. And next step is to, since we have implemented the service, let me close these services. Okay, I think we had some error. Let me see quickly what was that. Okay, must declare a body. No, so this was by mistake. It was created as a class. We'll have to make it interface, right? So let me close this and let's quickly review the product service class as well. So this is also good. Right, so now the next thing is we need to use it in our controller, products controller. So we'll go to products controller, and what we are supposed to do again. Now since we will be using iProduct service and category service, we'll have to declare, we are using dependency injection over here. We will not be creating object of this interface or classes. That is being handled by the dependency injection itself, and this is a very common code in ASP.NET Core, that we should not create the object. We should have the dependency, right dependency injected in, that will take care of creating the object of this, right? So we have taken two private variables, we have injected them in the constructor of this controller, and we have initialized it, and now wherever needed we'll be using it, right? So in the index method, what we will be doing, we will call the we'll call the product service get all sync method, right? So let me see what's wrong over here. I think it's the two return statement that is causing the problem. And also, since it's an async, actually we'll have to uh, take care of this. Okay, right. So what we are doing, we are calling the product service and get all async, and we are returning this product to the view. Now the next thing, we need to work on the view. So let's go ahead and open the view products index. Currently we don't have anything over here. Let's go ahead and I have the code ready, so let me copy paste it actually. So what we are doing, it's quite simple. We are just making loop of this uh, products, and we are displaying it. Few thing we need to you know add over here is to, let's go ahead and have the model on top. So this will be list of product VM. Again, we will have to import this from the view model folder. So rather than having this doing on each uh, HTML page, CSS HTML page, what we are supposed to do is to go to this view imports.cshtml and have the required using over here. So we already have model, so we'll add the view models also. Let me close this and let's see, the error is gone now, right? So we are displaying name, category, price, discount. We are having two buttons also, edit and delete, right? So let's go ahead and run this now. Because I have run the project, we are onto the home page now. Let's click on products, and we can see the products are displayed. Currently we have three products. We have edit and delete button also, right? So the index method get, basically get all products, is working fine using web APIs now in MVC, right? The next thing we want to do is to, let's have create button over here somewhere, and let's implement the create functionality. So let me quickly go ahead and add the create over here right after this paragraph, right? And let's see if we can see that link. Right. So we can see the add new product over here. Now let's work on the create method. Let me close this. Let me open the products controller over here. First thing we want to do over here is to add a view model for create product. So let me go ahead and add the class. We'll make it the name product create VM, add it, and let's have the required properties in. So we'll be using this for our edit functionality also. So, and for create IDs, we can keep it 0, or sometimes people keep it -1, sometimes people keep it null, whatever it is, fine, right? Then we need product category ID, name, then we need price, discount, and the list of product categories, right? Because we need to fill the drop down, categories drop down, and we are going to use model data binding only. Ideally we can bring the categories into a view data or view bag also, that is also fine. But I think the better way is to have a data binding, so have a proper class that have all those drop down rest of the properties and use it in your view. Right, so let me save this. So this is done. Let me close this. Now let's move to the next. Now let's go to our product service interface. So let's have the required methods in over there. So we are services, product service. Okay. So let me put down all the methods that is required. So what we are supposed to do? We are supposed to do, you know, we will have the create method, we will have get by ID and update method, and we will have the delete method, right? So and now let's go ahead and implement the create method over here in the product service class. So let me bring that code and I'll explain. So what we are doing over here, we are now working on the create async method that will take product create VM model as an input. It will use this HTTP client just like we did it in index method, and this time we will be posting the method, right? Posting the data. So we will be using post as JSON async, and again the base URL, API, and product. This URL are we are getting from the API project, right? And then we are sending everything to the uh, API, and then API will return whatever we have written from the API. Let me see what we are. I think for create we are returning the integer number of rows affected, if I'm not wrong. But let's go ahead and see this. Okay, so we are returning integer only here, right? So it will return integer. Let me save this. So we are done with the create method over here, but we still have the error because we have not implemented the edit, get by ID, and delete method. So let me just right click and implement the you know remaining methods explicitly, remaining members explicitly. So at least we don't get error for the not implemented methods, right? So we have it over here. So we are good over here. Our create method, it looks good, right? And next thing we want to do is to go to product controller and work on create method over here. So let me go ahead and add first the create get method, right? So what we are supposed to do, I think I copy pasted the wrong one. Let me delete this. Okay, so what we are doing, we are creating the create get method. From in the create get method, we are retrieving the categories. So, because we need them into the drop down, right? And then for rest of the product VM category, we are not doing anything because we will be displaying the blank form, right? So that's the reason we have taken this product VM variable. We are only assigning categories; those are required to build our drop down, and we are returning it to the view. Now let me also put down the post method. So this is create post method. Let me explain what we are doing over here, right? So if there are any validation error, we are returning the model there and there itself, right? So this is the negative scenario. Or if no validation error, everything was posted, everything looks good, right? Then what we are doing, we are calling the product service create async method, and we are passing the model that we are getting as an input of this post method, right? And then if there are again any error, we are adding error to the model saying that error creating product, right? If not, then we are redirecting it to the index page, right? And we are, since we in case of error also we need to have drop down field in, so we are calling this again and again, right? Ideally we can do one thing over here, that we can declare the where category at the top and use it everywhere, and that is also fine. Let me save this. Now let's go ahead and add the view. Right click add view, and we'll take the empty view as of now. uh, Add, okay, empty. So we'll give it a name create, add it, and let me go ahead and copy paste the code. It's quite simple. You know what we are doing. And the first one is the category drop down, second is the name, third is the price, fourth is the discount, and then we have the button, right? Save and back to list button, and everything this has to be wrapped around within the form. And based on the submit button click where it is posting, it is taking us to the ASP action create post method, right? With the required all this data field. So let's go ahead and run this and see. So let's go to products. Our API project is also running in parallel. Let's go to add new product. So we have the form ready. Let's try adding one, you know, maybe let's say a one food item, dairy milk, chocolates, badam and nuts, whatever, I don't know. Hmm. Let's keep it 100. Let's give a discount of 10% and let's say save. Right. So the dairy milk chocolate got added. So our create functionality is working fine. Let's go ahead and add and check the back to list functionality also. So that is also working fine. Now the next thing we want to work is to edit function. Right. So let's go ahead and work on edit functionality. Let me close this. Okay, so let's go to the services first, product service. We have implemented this method, right? So let me go ahead and add this method now, implement them actually. Right. So what we are supposed to do, we'll go to product service, and let me take, delete also this time because they are quite simple now. And so what we are doing, we are having an update method and we are having a get by id async method, right? This will be doing whatever id, whatever product we select, we will use this method to get the details of that product, right? And the api url would be api products and that id, right? And again for the update we will be using this method. We'll send the product create model itself, right? That will ultimately be converted into this uh, new model over here. We are passing it to the post method, basically put method. This time we'll be using put as json async, right? And then we are returning success flag only, just right? Boolean in this case. And let me explain the delete also quickly, right? We'll be implementing both together. So HTTP client, again, delete is quite simple. What we are doing, we are passing just the ID into the URL, but this time it will be a delete operation, delete async, right? The URL seems quite same, but the operations are different. So this is good. Now next we want to go is to implement the controller methods, right? So let's go ahead and implement the controller method. First is edit get. So what we are supposed to do in the edit get, we are supposed to bring that selected product and pass it to the view, right? So that's what we are doing. We are bringing that product. We are then with that product, we are also bringing the categories, because in the product itself we are passing the categories, although those will be used for displaying the drop down, right? You can pause the video and take a look at this. It's quite simple. And now next what we want to do is to implement the post method, edit post method. So let me add this. The edit post is quite similar to the create post, right? If there is any error, we are returning there and there itself. If there is no error, we are moving ahead with updating the data, right? And while updation, if anything goes wrong, let's say api is not working or anything, then also we need to capture that result. And if error, we should display the message accordingly. If not, we should redirect it to the our index method, right? So this is quite simple. Now this is done. Now let's go ahead and add the edit view. So I'll go over here, add view. We'll take the empty view again. We'll take this edit. Okay, and let me go ahead and add the edit view also. This is quite similar to our create view itself. Only a few things change. We'll change the title, we'll change the heading, and we need to have ID as our hidden field. Remaining code is as good as what we had in create view. Right, so let me go ahead and save these. So this is also good. So if we talk about steps what we are supposed to do, then first is to have your required method in the service layer, basically in iProduct service and then product service. Then call them into the controllers in product controller, right, and have the required views. This is what we are supposed to do while working with CRUD operations in using APIs. So I think we have done this now. So let's go ahead and implement this now and run it, and let's see the output. So we are onto the page. Click on products. Let's wait. Let's go ahead and edit this one, the record that we added for dairy milk. So we are having, we have landed onto the edit get method, and the product details are displayed. Let me go ahead and change it to 200, and let me mark this also as, let's say, 15, and let's save this. Right. Okay. So this got saved. We can see the details changed over here. So basically our insert update are working nicely. Display is already working fine. So read R is already working. Let's try to go ahead and work on delete functionality now. So I think we have already placed the delete method in place for services, but I think we missed to have it in controller. So let me stop this. So let me go ahead and bring the delete method, controller method now. It's quite simple. What we are doing, we are just calling the product service delete method, and based on the result, we are displaying the message also. So here, one thing we need to do is we need to store the message into the temp data, and we need to display it when we are redirect to the index page, because we are deleting the record, right? So what we are supposed to do over here somewhere, we need to read that temp data. Right, so just before the table, we'll put down both case. In case of error, we will be displaying the error also. In case of success, we will be displaying the success message also. And we are using bootstrap alert section, alert classes, so that it displays it. We will also have the close button on it, and we'll have to make it disappear after a certain time, maybe 2 to 3 seconds, right? So for that, what we are supposed to do, we will have to add a bit of JavaScript in our sad layout. So let's go to sad layout, and at the end, before this await, we'll need to put down one small JavaScript that actually auto hides the displayed alert message, right? So remember, bootstrap alert does not go back automatically. You will have to write this code to make it disappear. So here we are using 3 seconds, so the message will remain there for 3 seconds, and then it will disappear. And we'll also have the cross button. If for any case if it does not disappear, we can go ahead and close it, right? So this is JavaScript in place. On the index page, we are displaying the messages also, right? And let me go to the product and check the temp data. It's error and success only, right? Let's go ahead and see. It's error and success only. Okay, so let's run it and see. So let's go to products, and let's hit delete button over here. So it is asking for confirmation also. That is good. Let's say okay, right? So it says product deleted successfully. Let's say if goes off or not. Yes, it went off, right? Let's try to delete this guy also, and for any reason if does not go, we can close it also from here, right? So with this, we have implemented the CRUD operations with web API, and we have consumed the APIs into the MVC application. So I hope you like these videos, part 1 and part 2. And if you want to learn more about ASP.NET Core MVC, subscribe to my channel, which is Learn Coding with Vinay, and have a take a look at the playlist ASP.NET Core MVC. Right. Thanks a lot for watching this video, guys, and we'll see you in some another video.